Today, we're going to talk about dynamics. Dynamics usually means loud or soft, and anything that comes between. But what does the conductor have to do with all that? How do we show this? Recently, I did an experiment with a young conductor who really wasn't showing much physically about how aggressive the music he was conducting really was. And I asked him if he could consider to stand and conduct without using his hands, but convey the same kind of dramatic intensity that the music called for. I'll come back to that in a second. Clearly, when a piece of music is loud, it requires usually a big beat. But we know also from the past that if we use a big beat and it's fast, it's kind of silly, isn't it? So maybe the answer to loud dynamics is not in the beat at all. Maybe it has something to do with how we express ourselves with the left hand. In other words, if I beat small like this, but intense, but at the same time, show the emotion of getting more intense and try to give it into my face and my body. Maybe I can get that loud dynamic I'm looking for. And the reverse is true for soft. Supposing the entire orchestra is playing, but the material is soft. Obviously, we don't want to give the audience the impression that this is soft. It just doesn't look right. It doesn't fit what the music is. So clearly, smaller is better. But again, the problem is maybe it's not quite what the orchestra needs to show the emotion that underlies that dynamic. So maybe I'm trying it to be hushed like that. Maybe a little more nervous like that. But the beat itself can remain constant. When I told you that story about the young conductor, this is what I meant. Yes, I gave 1-2, and I gave the opening measure of Brahms' Tragic Overture. If I was conducting it with my arms, it would be this. Yam, yam. But without the arms, how do I get that emotion, that intensity into my body? I do it by thinking about the sound that I want before the piece of music starts. So rather than just walk on the podium, pick up the baton and go, bum, bum, I don't do that. I come out, I take a few moments to just think about what I'm going to try to convey to start any work off, put it into my body, get the tempo in my head, and once I've established that, like that. And without the stick, can I do the same thing? I think so. So you saw my shoulders came up a little bit. I stiffened my posture. I gave the beats with my head. I closed my eyes a little bit. Different things. And every orchestra is going to react in a different way. Sometimes we like to surprise our audience. There are a few moments in music where you want people to jump because a forte happens out of nowhere. In the first movement of the sixth Tchaikovsky, there is such a moment. The bassoon, or bass clarinet, depending on your vision of the piece, plays a note that's marked with 6 Ps, the ultimate soft note, and it's followed by the whole orchestra with 5 or 6 fortes. It's not really nice to have the bass clarinet going da 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 da, and then ba. It's giving it away to the audience. I think the bass clarinet comes down, and you go like that. You'll have rehearsed it so they know, but you just give a little indication to the orchestra and react the second you've given that beat. Ya-da-da, like that. So sometimes we don't want the audience to know what's coming next. That's almost in opposition to everything we're taught, but once in a while it's effective and can work. Dynamics are also controlled by the left hand. When an orchestra sees this, it means either crescendo or be louder. When they see this, it means either diminuendo or play softer. By moving your hands inward, you're going to get a softer sound, and by moving them outward, you're going to get a bigger sound. There's another matter concerned with dynamics and overall conducting that we also need to discuss. How to end a piece of music. It's, again, not quite as easy as it looks. If you have a Brahms symphony, you have this big, loud note, and you give the cutoff, that's pretty clear. But some conductors will hold the note, and they will just go like that, and it stops. It can work. Looks a little strange, but it can work. Generally for me, I try to think of a cutoff as being yet another beat in the pattern. Forte, off. So I've actually given an upbeat to show the orchestra precisely where to stop. Where I don't need to do that is in a piece that really ends softly. Supposing I'm doing the Barber Adagio for strings and I get to that last F major chord and I do a diminuendo and I bring my hands in and I don't want the sound to end. So I just gently close my left hand and say that's where you end. So everybody might have a different impression of when that is due to their spot on the stage. But nobody would see something that looks like this, the antithesis of a way a piece like that needs to conclude. So your assignment for this lesson is to work on your dynamics. Use them in conjunction with your beat patterns. Keep working on the independence of the left hand so you can have all these tools at your disposal when you finally get up and conduct the orchestra.